family. So, today has been, I feel like it's been a pretty productive day overall. But today should not have been a productive day because I should be on my first day of recovery. Unfortunately, that ended up being postponed. I'm not going to get into details, but there was, we'll say, a valid reason. Um, External reason, but valid reason. So yeah, there's that. Um, that date has been pushed back a little bit, not too much, but enough to be annoying. Anyway, while it's on my mind, make sure that you like and subscribe. Make sure you hit the notification bell so you know when the videos come out. If you would like to see these videos when they first go live, when they first get uploaded, then join my Patreon. You also get perks such as discounts on my web store, access to blooper reels, so on and so forth. Make sure that you check out the page, see if you find a tier that you like, and if you do, subscribe. Help a brother out. Anyway, so today's process was pretty much like I had forewarned before, basically a bunch of cleanup. But I specifically ended up deciding to get some organization done in regards to that cleanup, continuing what I'd already started from before. So, basically, I rearranged a few things between the back and the front so that it would make more sense to start putting the storage space that I want off to the left side of the back section and start organizing the bathroom side of the back right section. Getting things basically where they need to be for once I get everything in place. Also, as you can see behind me, the area in general is pretty wide open. That is because one of my bigger accomplishments for the day was getting all of my crates for my inventory and supplies and everything related to my display that was small enough is now my overhead storage, which I will throw in a picture or two and some video footage of just how that looks in general. It's nothing super special, but and it could use a little bit of uniformity in how it's set up, but I mean the general premise is there. Everything is where it needs to be, so that's what really matters. I can make it look pretty later. But yeah, it's probably at this point a total of about, if I had to guess, about 24 to 28 crates up there. Some of those crates are actually empty. They like the ones over the kitchen, I think 3 or 4 of those are empty because they will be holding most likely kitchen items. And then I have some that are empty towards the front as well that will be holding specialty items for the area that it is above. Yeah, those are the main things. And in getting that organized, I was able to basically reorganize some things on the ground, which include swapping, well, not really swapping, but changing how my smaller large format material that isn't big enough to go all the way across the top here, how it's laid out over off to the left here, in order to allow the crates above it to be in place, because basically the stock here that is, well, just the stock in general, the stock here was blocking some of the space for the crates up top, and I wanted to get as many of those in that space as humanly possible so that I could utilize that space completely. And basically it goes all the way from the front section where the light fixtures were originally at, all the way essentially to over the back door, which would basically equal the same over the kitchen area. So it literally cuts off at the back section of the bus where the entire personal area is behind there. So I planned for that, and it worked out exactly how I wanted to. At some point in time, I'm going to take down that mirror and move it to the opposite side because it's pretty much going to be utilized basically like a bathroom mirror. I think it makes the most sense to have it that way, and it's a structure that's already here that can just be utilized as I need it, and not have to worry about changing up anything or fabricating something in order to have what I actually need. I do actually have a secondary mirror that I keep in one of the drawers of the cabinets for right now, but once I get that mirror over in place, then I'm probably going to rely mostly on that mirror and being able to swing it out and adjust it to the height that I need it so that I can use it for my general needs. Also, it can be swung toward the back in order to be utilized for the back, generally, like, you know, getting dressed, getting myself ready to leave for the day, blah blah blah. It makes a nice all-around option for that area for those purposes. So I'm going to utilize it to the best of my ability as such. I probably, once I do that, because it's not really a major thing, I'll probably take a picture of it just so that you guys see how it looks once it's in place and doing what I wanted to do. I do need to find or get my hands on the right size of, I believe they are pipe fittings, in order to make sure that it stays at a certain height. Because I want to be able to adjust it up and down in general as I need it, because the upstairs or the back is basically the upstairs, so it's higher in level than the downstairs or the front. So being able to change its general height is something that I want to be able to utilize, but I also want to limit it in between those spaces so that I don't have to constantly tighten and untighten it in order to keep it where I want it to be. I'm going to play with that concept and see if I can find something that maybe like easier to adjust or doesn't require any tools, because essentially I'm going to need an Allen wrench in order to adjust it if I don't tighten it to a fit that allows me to just shift it around and basically rub the bar, because there's just enough friction to keep it in place, but not enough friction so that I can't move it. I'm probably going to go that route, but at the same time, I'd like the ability to just loosely adjust it and quickly adjust it versus trying to shift it back and forth in order to get it where I want it. Anyway, aside from that, I changed where I am currently keeping the grid wall as part of my display. Originally, it was going along the walkway, along with, basically in front of or beside the inventory that was there. One, because I got the inventory up top, that ended up kind of making a hole that didn't make sense for that to just sit there. And two, I wanted to see if it made sense to actually fit it where it currently is, which is basically right behind the bar that's the end of the vertical bar, that's the end of the horizontal bar for safety in the front. It's also where the heating unit that's on that side of the bus is basically right at, like, on the floor. So it's essentially tucked away, technically in front of the back exit. But the back exit, I'm still debating on how I want to utilize that space as a whole. I think for now it's probably going to hold the majority of excess materials that I need for building and whatnot. But eventually, I'm either going to clear it out over time, or I'm going to try to utilize that space at least temporarily for some form of storage or something along those lines. Whatever I do, if I can make it so that the back is accessible to some degree as far as using the back door, whether it's coming in and out in general, or having an expanded space for, say, shower purposes. I don't know. I'm still debating on that. I still feel better if the shower is toward the back, so I'm doing a couple things in regards to that as far as setup, and I'm testing some things in not too distant future when that's all said and done. But as of right now, nothing's really officially set up and displayable for the shower or the toilet situation. But things are generally in place. So hopefully in the next few days I'll get to that and be able to do a video on that. But we'll see. Again, this is all pretty much being placed where it needs to be, but not necessarily bolted into place because I'm not in a position to do that just yet. But I am getting close. And once I am happy with where things are, I will probably find a way to at least temporarily secure them for the ability to be able to move the bus if I need to, for whatever reasons that I would need to move the bus. But I'm probably not going to permanently secure things or really anything in its place until I get the floor up. Because that's going to be my primary method of securing things in place. I do have some brackets along the sides, on the walls on both sides where the seats were, as well as spacers for the seating and things along those lines, which I will probably attempt to utilize in some shape, form, or fashion to wall secure things to be safe. Case in point, there's a bracket, an L bracket that's along the wall below the window behind the cabinets that I just may decide to use. I drill some holes in on the ends and then either bungee or tie down strap those the cabinets to that bar, since that bar is already secured to the body of the bus and I'm not securing it myself. It is generally solid in its positioning, so I won't have to worry about the cabinets shifting back and forth as I'm making turns or whatever. At worst, I might have to worry about drawers opening up. But I do actually currently have magnets, which I think I'll take pictures of and show off at another point in time, now that I think about it, because it didn't dawn on me until just now to even bother mentioning it. But I have magnets that are on the back sides of the cabinet drawers, basically between the cabinet drawer and the body of the cabinet that's facing forward, in order to help secure the drawers, whether I'm driving or just in general. Because with the fact that there's a decent amount of weight inside of some of the drawers, if they weren't secured, they would want to slide open if the whole thing isn't perfectly level, which is not currently perfectly level. I do have it on essentially some spacers for the floor at the moment, in order to level it with the portion of the gas tank that comes above the floor where the back seats facing the back door were. Before I let myself forget, I also wanted to make sure that I noted that I threw in on this video a little bit of footage picture-wise for the organization that I have in most of the drawers there. So basically, from left to right, what I primarily have in the first one is my water supply. I'm not going to call it necessarily gray water, but cleaning water, water that I don't intend on drinking, which will be for like showering, for cleaning the space up in general, things along those lines. The drawer that I have all of that in, I'm able to fit about 8 gallons of water in that spot. Then I have my drinking water supply, which between buying gallons of water, refilling gallons of water, depending on where I am when I travel and whatnot, and having access to a water filter, which I intend on doing a little bit of looking for that. Actually, tonight I think I'll do that. See what I can find that I like for the purpose of the bus, because I already have a water filter in the shop. But having a water filter here for that supply of water, I can hold, as of right now, 6 gallons in that spot. Up to 6 gallons. I actually have 4 in there, and then I decided, instead of making it 6, I made room for things like tea and other items that I would use to quote unquote modify said drinking water. So if I wanted to make like tea, or you know, if I decided I wanted Kool-Aid or lemonade or anything along those lines, those are all in that same spot because it's essentially my drinking supply of items. And then just kind of miscellaneous stuff above that that falls into the kitchen category. So like utensils, things along those lines. And then the middle drawer is essentially going to be my food source, at least my dry goods. I've got like crackers and trail mix and chips and things along those lines in that drawer. That might end up being a total of 2 drawers. We'll see how that plays out because the drawer next to that is, or above that is kind of miscellaneous at the moment. And then above that, I have basically the medicine cabinet area. That's where I keep any kind of like supplements or um, um, I believe they are called energy drinks, things along those lines. I keep all of that in that general area, vitamins and things along those lines as well. Anyway, and then the last situation, the far right drawer, is basically cleaning supplies and general supplies. So like um, the bottom drawer has all my extra tarps in it, and a couple other larger items in general that are extras or backups or things along those lines for the bus in general. And then the top drawer, so all the cleaning supplies in general, like the like isopropyl alcohol, liquid soap, cleaning vinegar, because apparently that's a thing now. There's specific formulas of vinegar that are meant for cleaning and not meant for eating, and meant for like food purposes. Um, and different spray bottles of different types of cleaning, like window cleaner, things along those lines. That's all in that drawer, and then the top drawer on that side has it's basically kind of a catch-all drawer for like the extra supplies I have for the small supplies, extra small supplies I have for the bus. So like the rings that I use around the bus to hold things and certain things in place, the binder clips that I use, the hooks that stick to the wall, things along those lines. Um, but yeah, that pretty much sums up that general section, which, as of right now, you can see from off to my left, I have one of those humidifier fans that works actually pretty well. I was skeptical of it when I first got it, but I've been happy with it since I've got it. I have a smaller pocket version sitting in my shop. I need to actually grab it so that I can have it with me. But it basically utilizes that one. The smaller one utilizes a sponge that the water is kept in, and then the fan just blows essentially mist from drying out the sponge. This one works with an actual reservoir that the reservoir connects to a section in the front that has essentially a sponge, but it's more like a high absorption towel of some sort. That's the best way I can describe it. It's inside of a little cage. But anyway, that then sucks up the water from the reservoir that is on the side, which is what you can actually see, that has the LED lights on it right now. And that has settings to change color, but it's neither here nor there. When it gets low, or when it runs out of water, it actually starts flashing, which it's not going to do now that I said that, because the actual reservoir is mostly full right now. I think I filled it probably like half an hour before I started doing this, and it's just kind of been running in the background, helping to keep the space in general pretty cool. It works best like directly on you, as far as like keeping you like super cool in comparison to the air around you. But in general, like if I had the windows closed and it would normally be stuffy in here, and I had that thing running for probably an hour or two, the temperature would be at least 5 or 6, maybe even 7 degrees cooler than it would have been without that running. So I'm happy with it. You know, it does its job, and because I'm dealing with such a small space in the bus in comparison to it being like in my shop or in an apartment or whatever, it's going to be way more effective in comparison because smaller space. So yeah, that's pretty much it. That sums up that general section. Um, anyway, yeah, that's pretty much the brunt of it. I intend on securing those things as best I can once things are as in place as they need to be. Um, I probably will figure out some temporary ways to secure some of the stuff in back because I'll probably show a couple of things off on my next video when it comes to that because I'm not quite happy with where things are at the moment, but I'm getting there. And I have a few more items that I would really like to get situated before I start showing that section off, because there's storage that I want to figure out to a better degree than I have already, in order to set all of that up, as well as closet space and things along those lines. It's going to be a while, like I said before I get the couch type setup going, couch bed type setup going for the far back. But I've already, basically told you guys essentially what I want to do. It's just a matter of actually cutting up the material so that I can actually do it. I think I'm pretty close to having enough of the material that I want to use for that purpose, but I'm probably going to secure a few more pieces just because I'd rather have too much than not enough. And the excess, of course, can be utilized elsewhere. So I'm probably going to spend a little bit more time accumulating more of that material because it just makes sense. But yeah, that is. I'm trying to think if there's anything else I wanted to mention in regards to anything that I achieved or got completed today. And that's pretty much it. The majority of materials are where I want them to be stored. The front is mostly back to being open space again, so that I can actually utilize it for getting work done, which I have a little bit of work to get done tonight because I have a friend who runs a store that carries a few of my items, and before I get into my whole hiatus situation, I want to be able to ship out some more stuff to them, probably this weekend. So between tonight and tomorrow, depending on how I feel once I finish doing this video, I might start taking care of that now, or I might wait till tomorrow and do it during the day. We'll see. But yeah, that pretty much sums up today's festivities. I was going to work on some more security stuff for the body of the bus, but it's already gotten late. It's actually after dark now, and it's probably close to 9 p.m. I have to say it's like 8:45-ish or so. And I try not to do that kind of stuff during night. I'd rather have daylight on my side so that I have guaranteed abundance of light in order to get stuff like that done, because it just makes more sense. Anyway, those will be items for another video, for another time. I got a couple more components that I need to order so that I can get a couple other things done. But hopefully in the next at least couple of weeks, I'll be able to make some serious milestones with the conversion side of things so that I can hopefully soon deal with the mechanical side of things, because like I mentioned before, I want to replace my tires, and I do have a couple of small issues that are going on with the engine, but they're not anything too major, just like oil leaks and things along those lines. Something straightforward that I should be able to get the help of some mechanic buddies of mine that are local to just knock those out and be good. that's pretty much it. So thank you for being here. Thank you for subscribing and paying attention to all the craziness that is me doing this project, as well as when I get to other projects once this one is primarily done, and just following me around when I go on my adventures with my conventions. Yeah, I will see you guys in the next video. And I look forward to that. You guys have a good night. Until then, peace.